Most men treat a good night text as a polite ending. In reality, it's a high-stakes psychological fork in the road. It is either the final nail in the coffin of her interest, or the spark that keeps you in her head until morning. There is no middle ground. Women don't fall for predictable routines. They fall for fascination. While most guys send sleep tight and vanish into the forgettable pile, you're going to use these 6 messages to trigger warmth, intrigue, and anticipation. These aren't just lines. They are subtle psychological cues that leave an imprint long after she puts her phone down. Mastering the masculine frame is the non-negotiable foundation you must establish before you even think about sending a single text. If these messages are sent from a place of insecurity, desperation, or emotional neediness, they will backfire instantly, acting as a repellent rather than an attraction builder. You must never weaponize these lines as a Hail Mary attempt to win back a woman who has gone cold or to chase someone who is clearly being distant. Attempting to use clever wording to bridge a gap caused by low interest only reinforces a perception of low value. A woman can sense the energy behind the screen, and if she feels you are trying to trick her into liking you again, the connection is dead on arrival. True masculine energy is rooted in being grounded and outcome independent, which is why you must strictly avoid turning these messages into a predictable nightly routine. Predictability is the silent killer of romance. It transforms a high-impact spark into a boring chore, causing her to lose the fascination that drives attraction. A high-value man sends a message to set a specific emotional tone for the night and then immediately detaches. He doesn't hover over his phone, watching for the typing bubbles or fishing for a reaction to validate his ego. He has a mission, a life, and a world of his own that exists outside of his phone. By putting the phone away, you signal that your value and your mood are not tied to her response, or lack thereof, which is the ultimate display of confidence. In the first phase, you focus on creating emotional anchors, starting with the entry-level message. If you wake up with a smile, you'll know who caused it. This move is designed to be gentle and confident without appearing desperate for her attention. It is most effective in the early stages of dating, particularly after a high-energy date or a solid conversation where the vibe is already positive. Psychologically, this works by planting a reward prediction in her mind. By subtly suggesting that her morning happiness is tied to you, you are creating a mental file that opens the moment she wakes up. Even if she wakes up feeling good for a completely unrelated reason, like great weather or a good night's sleep, her brain will instinctively bridge that positive emotion back to you. To keep this effective, you must avoid over-sweetening the message with emojis or needy language. If she teases you about it the next day, stay grounded and playful with a simple, "I'll take the credit," which ensures you remain the one driving the dynamic. As the connection progresses, you transition into more playfully intimate territory with the second anchor. "Good night. I hope your pillow isn't jealous that I'm not there." This message is a powerful tool for the mid-stage of attraction because it relies heavily on visual imagery. The moment she reads this while lying in bed, her brain is forced to visualize you there beside her, creating a sense of intimacy that isn't overly sexual or aggressive. The humor involved acts as a social lubricant, lowering her defenses and making the suggestion feel like a fun us moment rather than an intrusion. However, timing is critical here. If the vibe between you isn't already warm and flirtatious, this line will fall flat or feel cringe. When she engages, perhaps by joking that her pillow is more loyal than you are, you shouldn't over-explain or get defensive. Just laugh it off and keep the conversation light. By using this approach, you stop being just another name in her contact list and start becoming a recurring topic in her thoughts. In the second phase, you move beyond simple emotions and begin mastering her imagination, starting with the message, "I'll try not to show up in your dreams, but no promises." This is a calculated strike at the subconscious because the human brain is most impressionable in the moments right before sleep. By dropping this line, you are providing a specific mental cue for her mind to process as she drifts off. The psychological hook lies in the phrase "no promises." It's a playful challenge delivered with a digital smirk. You aren't doing the work of describing a dream. Instead, you are forcing her imagination to do the heavy lifting. The less detail you provide, the more her mind will naturally fill in the blanks with its own desires and curiosities. If she pushes back or calls you out for being confident, the key is to hold your ground. Do not backpedal or explain the joke. A simple, steady response like just being realistic maintains your mystery and keeps the tension high. Building on that momentum, the second technique in this phase is the strategic bridge. Let me know if I make a guest appearance in your dreams. This message is highly effective because it creates a natural, low-pressure excuse for her to reach out to you the very next morning. Psychologically, you are positioning yourself as a recurring character in her life's narrative, a guest star in her private thoughts. It acts as a psychological cliffhanger that demands a resolution. Whether she texts you the next day to say you actually appeared in a dream or to tease you that you didn't, you have already won because the dialogue is moving forward on your terms. The pro tip here is vital. Never be the one to ask, "So did I show up?" the next morning. Doing so reeks of a desperate need for validation and destroys the cool, detached frame you've built. Let her bring it up in her own time. If she doesn't, remain completely unbothered. This detachment proves that while you're happy to be a guest in her dreams, you aren't dependent on her reporting it to feel good about yourself. The final phase moves into the most advanced territory, beginning with the ultimate confidence flex. Rest well, but don't smile too much tomorrow thinking about me. This message is designed to amplify existing attraction by leveraging the psychological power of expectation. By boldly predicting her future behavior, you are planting a seed that will sprout the moment she wakes up. When she catches herself smiling at a random thought or her morning coffee, your text will immediately flash in her mind, making her wonder if you actually have a read on her soul. This creates a powerful loop of emotional momentum where she begins to associate her natural positive moods with your presence. However, this is a high-level move that requires established chemistry. If you send this to a woman who is acting cold or barely responding, it will come across as delusional or arrogant. You use this when the fire is already burning to turn a simple spark into a blaze, showing her that you are a man who is comfortable with his own desirability. The final message shifts the energy from a playful power play to the role of the safe harbor. Good night. If you can't sleep, you know where to find me. This isn't about being clever or witty. It's about demonstrating masculine depth and steady presence, making it perfect for the later stages of a relationship where trust has been built. Psychologically, this message hits deep because it offers emotional availability without the neediness of a simp or the intrusiveness of an amateur therapist. You are signaling that you are a grounded, reliable man who can hold space for her restlessness without being overwhelmed by it. It's an open door that she is free to walk through, but you aren't begging her to enter. The pro tip for this message is to ensure it comes from a place of personal fullness. You aren't staying up hoping she calls. You are simply letting her know you're a warm place to land. If she does reach out saying she's restless, don't rush into fix-it mode. Simply stay present and grounded, proving that your energy is the steady anchor she needs. You are no longer just sending words. You are curating her emotional experience. The difference between a creep and a catch isn't the line itself. It's the intention and the frame behind it. Stop being the guy who copies and pastes. Be the man who understands the psychology of attraction.